guys, today we're going to be doing a tag that has been on my to film list for such a long time, and I'm way late to the game on this one, but this is one that was started by Samantha March, and it is her 5 brands that excite me and 5 brands that don't tag. So it took me forever to actually be able to come up with a list for this because it is hard, let me tell you, because usually you guys know me that I just prefer indie brands, and I didn't want all of the brands on my exciting list to be only brands that sell eyeshadow palettes because that is my true love. And I just felt like that wouldn't really be right for this tag, so I am going to be excluding brands that really only sell eyeshadow palettes. So a lot of the indie brands that mostly have eyeshadow palettes I probably will not be mentioning in this video. So I'm going to try to keep it mostly to like brands that have a whole full range of products because that just makes more sense to me, I guess, for this tag. So I think we should just get into it. So should I start with the bottom or the top? I feel like let's start with the top because the bottom is always more exciting for me anyway, so we're gonna save the best for last or the worst for last depending on how you look at it. So let's start with my top 5 brands that really do excite me. So the first one might come as a surprise to you guys, but this is going to be Natasha Denona. There is something about Natasha Denona's brand and products that really just draw me in. I don't know if it's like the luxury factor of it or like it's so bougie. And there's something about that bougie feeling that I really enjoy. I really like the feeling of expensive makeup. I totally agree with everybody who says that makeup doesn't have to be expensive to be good, and that is so true. But when you find a good expensive product that is really freaking good, like there's something special about the feel of that product, the packaging, the weight of it, just everything about using a very bougie product just makes me feel happy. And I can't help it. Like I've said this before, I am a bit of a snob when it comes to makeup. I don't buy a lot of drugstore makeup because little things like cheap packaging and stuff just really bugs me and I can't really help it. So maybe I'm a bit of a bougie bitch, but you know what can you do? I really like Natasha Denona's product. I've tried so many things from her brand. I love her foundation. I like her Sunset palette. I think the formula is great. I like the highlighters. I like the blush bar palette, or the blush palette, the Blush and Glow palette I think it's called. Love that. I love the little mini bronzer and highlighting duo that I have. There are very few things that I've tried from the brand that I did not like, and the one thing that I didn't like was her Tropic palette. I ended up returning that one because the formula was just a bit different than what I was used to from her. So Natasha Denona is a brand that actually do really excite me. And I think we should just talk about a brand that's maybe not so expensive now. So the next brand on my list is honestly probably my favorite like overall brand, and this is Colourpop. And the reason why I love Colourpop so much is because they come out with so many things, but they still manage to keep it exciting. They have so many things in their range that you don't see from other brands, and for whatever reason they are able to always stay on top of trends. They always try to kind of push the boundaries and come out with new stuff, which I really appreciate. Like they came out with colored mascaras. Like who comes out with a full range of colored mascaras? That is just amazing in my opinion. And I love their monochromatic palettes that they have. I love their eyeshadow formula. I think it's really good for the price. Is it Natasha Denona? No, but they still have an amazing formula for the price, like I said, and everything is just so affordable. And I find myself making Colourpop orders probably every month, if I'm being honest, because they come out with so much stuff. There's always something that I like. I love their lip liners, I love their eyeliners, I love their lip glosses, I love their lipsticks. I really love everything that I've tried from Colourpop except for their pressed powder, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, that's a pretty good like return on investment when it comes to, you know, drugstore pricing, because usually when I buy drugstore products, I don't even want to call Colourpop drugstore because I don't consider them to be drugstore even though they're drugstore prices. But whenever I buy something from like Walmart or Walgreens and stuff like that, it just doesn't really end up being that great of quality for the most part. I'm not saying that everything isn't good quality, but just I have a lot better luck with Colourpop as an expensive, as a cheap brand. So I really like Colourpop a lot. So the next brand can probably be discussed whether or not it is what I said in the beginning, a brand that has a full range of products. And this is Jeffree Star, and he did just come out with concealers. I think he's coming out with foundation soon. He did come out with lip glosses. He has eyeshadow palettes, he has lipsticks, he has lip liners. So, I mean, he's got a good range of products, but I also don't feel like he's like a complete brand yet. But at the same time, Jeffree Star is one of my favorite brands. Love his eyeshadow formula. I think it's so good. I also really like his lipsticks. I mean, they are my favorite matte liquid lipstick formulas, so I felt like I had to put him on my list. And I just love how non-afraid he is to experiment, and he doesn't care about like coming out with new stuff that he thinks might be a risk, but people will still buy it, you know? Because taking a risk is some of the time what you need to do if you're in the makeup industry, just because of how oversaturated the market is, that if you can come out with something that is super unique, even if it might like scare some people off, I think that the people who are really into makeup and who like his brand is still going to buy his products and will try to make it work for them just because they like it so much. And that is good because it shows that there is room on the market for like crazy products, and I really like that because I'm all about the crazy products. So Jeffree Star had to be on my list, even though, like I said in the beginning of the video, it might not be the kind of brand that has a full range of products, but I still just needed to put it on there. The next brand on my list is probably going to surprise you, but this brand excites me because it's a drugstore brand, and this is Wet n Wild. And the reason why Wet n Wild is on this list is because I feel like they come out with some cool stuff that, like, if you compare it to the other drugstore brands, they really stand out. Like, you can't really compare Wet n Wild like Maybelline because they are completely different, and I love that about it because I feel like most brands who are at the drugstore are like Maybelline, and I mean, it's just kind of basic, you know, but Wet n Wild is anything but basic. They come out with really cool collections. Their price points are amazing. They're super inexpensive. I've tried so many things from Wet n Wild that I've ended up really liking, and it makes me excited to see what they come out with in the future. Every time I look at Trendmood and Trendmood is announcing that Wet n Wild is coming out with a new collection, I always like kind of give them the side eye. I'm like, ooh, what are you coming out with next? You know what I mean? Like, it gets me excited. It gets me wanting to see what they come out with. And that's basically what this tag is about, is brands that excite me. It's not necessarily about the brands that I buy the most from, but the brands that I'm keeping my eyes on when it comes to releasing new stuff. And Wet n Wild is definitely one of those brands that actually do excite me. The next brand on my list is also a more on a cheaper side brand, and this is BH Cosmetics. I have a lot of things from BH, and I really like everything that I have from BH. Anything from the brushes to their eyeshadow palettes to their lipsticks. I like everything that I've tried from the brand. Now, I haven't really tried a lot of their face products, but like I know they have a foundation and a concealer, and they have like a lot of different face products that I just haven't tried. So I do consider them to be like a complete brand at this point, even though I haven't tried like all of the products from their range. But they are the kind of brand that really do excite me because I feel like, kind of like Colourpop, they come up with a lot of different things, and I like brands that come up with a lot of different things because it means that yes, there might be some misses in there, but there's also going to be some hits just because of how many things they come out with. So every time they come out with a new palette, I'm kind of like, ooh, what are you going to come out with next? And I'm actually wearing a new BH palette on my eyes today, and this is the BH Cosmetics Illusion palette. And I just filmed a first impression video with this, so that should be up before this video goes up, so I will link that in the corner for you. But I just think this is so cute. Like, this is a mini palette, and I love when brands can come out with like small palettes, especially small pan sizes. As someone who has so much freaking eyeshadow, I don't need a 2-gram pan of eyeshadow anymore. And like, I just don't. Like, I appreciate this. This has 16 shades in it, and it's got 10 grams of product, and that's perfect for me. That's all I need in an eyeshadow palette. I don't need like huge eyeshadows anymore just because I have so many. And I just like to try out new things. Like, I'm not the kind of person who goes through my eyeshadow, so I like being able to, you know, buy smaller pans of eyeshadows, and so something like this is perfect, and this is something that like makes me excited. So I felt like I had to put BH on my list. The reason why Juvia's Place is not on my list, as you guys know, I love Juvia's Place, but I don't consider Juvia's to be a complete brand yet, even though they did just come out with foundations. But I feel like that is like so recent that I don't even know. I feel like for some reason Juvia's to me is just eyeshadows because that's really all I buy from them and it's all I've tried from them. So that's why I didn't want to include them on my list, because I don't really have much of an opinion of their other products yet. So I don't know, I just didn't feel like they belonged on this particular list in this tag video. So let's get into the brands that don't excite me now, because I have some that are just kind of boring. So let's start with the first one, and no one's going to be surprised by this, but this is Glossier. I cannot, honestly, that is just not my kind of style at all. Like, I don't get on board with like the super natural glowy no makeup look. Like, I don't like that look on myself, so that's why I don't really care about any of their products, because to me, if I'm going to spend the time to wear makeup, I want it to look like I'm wearing makeup and I didn't just waste my time, you know? Because I feel good when I have a full face of makeup on, and I don't feel like myself when I'm wearing like nothing but still wearing something. Like I would rather just like not wear makeup then and not waste 30 minutes of my day putting stuff on my face that's barely going to show up. Like that's just not my thing. So whenever Glossier comes out with something, I don't even bat an eye. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I don't care. Move on. Like, let's go on to the next brand. So the next brand on my list that don't excite me anymore, this is a brand that used to really excite me. And this really has nothing to do with like the scandal or anything, but this is Kat Von D. Kat Von D used to come out with so many fun products, and lately I feel like all she's come out with is just freaking eyeliners and mascaras. Like, can we not? Like, can we start coming out with something fun again? Like, honestly, okay, I don't really want her to start coming out with something fun again because then I'd be tempted to buy it and then a lot of people would be really mad at me. So for that reason alone, I don't want her to come out with something fun, but I just feel like Kat Von D used to be such a fun brand and such an innovative brand, and now she's just kind of like... So next up on my list is going to be a drugstore brand, and to be honest, I probably could have put most of the like mainstream drugstore brands on this list, but the brand that I'm going to mention is going to be Loreal, because I don't know what the last 10 things Loreal came out with, because maybe it's just because they are not very into like the social media advertising and stuff, and so I never really hear about anything that comes out from Loreal. So that could be one of the reasons why the brand don't excite me. But every time I go to the drugstore and I kind of look around at the Loreal, I'm just like, like I'm just not really interested, you know? They just have very basic products. I haven't tried that many things from them. I do like their L'Oreal Color Shine lipsticks, I think they're called. That's pretty much it though. I haven't tried any of their foundations, any of their concealers, any of their powders. I have tried a blush, I hated it. So I'm just kind of like, I don't really care about the brand. I just find it extremely boring, extremely basic, and I don't know. It just doesn't call to me at all. The next brand on my list is something that is so expensive that I just can't even try to get into the brand, and that is Tom Ford. I am sure that his makeup is fantastic. I'm sure that the quality is so good, but I just don't even care, to be honest, like, because most of his products are so basic too that there are no like color products that really excite me. The only product that I have from Tom Ford is a very small like mini lipstick, like a bullet lipstick, and the formula is okay, but it tastes like grandma. Like I don't even know how else to explain it, but it smells like very old makeup, like old school makeup. Do you know what I mean? And then because of that smell, it like tastes like it, and the taste just like stays on your mouth the whole day until it wears off, and it's kind of gross. But the lipstick formula itself is really nice. I do like it, but it doesn't make me want to try anything else from Tom Ford. And whenever I see him come out with stuff, I'm like, you know what, that's pretty, but I would never spend my money on that because it's just not really that exciting. Like, I don't want an eyeshadow quad that's $80. Like, who are you kidding? Who do you think you are? Like, that is insane. I can't get behind that. Like, I understand Natasha Denona having like 18 pan palettes for like $120. Like, that's a little bit better value. I mean, it's still hella expensive, but a quad for 80 bucks, I'm like, no. And the last brand on my list is going to be a brand that I have not tried anything from except for their little stamps, and this is Milk Makeup. This is the only thing from the brand that excites me, and that's just because it's a fun product. Like, I'm not really into cream products at all. I don't really care about that. I've tried. It's not really my kind of thing. I also never use primer, so I don't care for like a primer stick to rub on my face. In general, I just don't really like stick products. It's not something that I gravitate towards. I don't even really think that the aesthetic of the brand is like that cool. I mean, I get that they're trying to be different, but for me it's just kind of boring. I don't know. Am I the only one who thinks that Milk Makeup is boring? I don't even know what most of the things they have in their ranges. Do they even have an eyeshadow palette? Like, do they have any kind of eye products? Because all I think of when I think of Milk Makeup is their little tube like deodorant looking stick things, and I don't want to put that shit on my face. Like, that's not how I do my makeup, so the brand just doesn't excite me. I don't care what they come out with. It can be a cucumber thing, it can be a watermelon thing, but it's all going to be in stick form, and I don't like sticks, so I'm just like, you know, go away. I don't like you. So those are going to be all of the brands that do and don't excite me. If you have a channel and you've done this tag, please let me know so I can go watch it, because I've watched a lot of these and I find them really fun to watch. And also, if you don't have a channel, leave yours down below. I would love to hear about it if you can actually come up with a list. I know it took me forever to come up with this list because it's hard, but if you can, leave it down below so we can all read it, because I would love to hear. And let me know if you agree with the ones that I said. I feel like some people are definitely not going to agree with a lot of the brands that I said, but that's totally okay because we all have different opinions and that is the joy of makeup. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.